All right, well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our September foster parent info session. I mean, summer has flown by and we're already in mid-September, right on the heels of fall. And we just started a new set of online pre-service classes on last Thursday, September 16th. But Pat, can you share a little bit about anyone still wanting to join, still wanting to be a foster parent while everything is still online?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. So as Liz said, last Thursday was our first night. This session will also be all remote via Zoom from your couch, as we like to say. This session actually goes until November 4th. And what we're going to do is I will allow people to jump into this session until Thursday, September 30th. So that's pretty important if someone was interested now in learning more and wanting to get into this session. Now is the time. It will be on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. Like I said, from your computer at home. I've had people use their cell phones, iPads, really whatever works for you to be able to be engaged on the session. And then I will not be having another training again until, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but until 2022. So it will be early in January. However, I just can't believe, I don't know where the time has gone. And so that's where we're at.
Yeah. And we'll have Pat's contact info in the comments section of this stream, but it is 330-818-0444 or plot@pathwaycfc.org. And the first step is just to reach out. She's willing and eager to answer any questions that you have. And once again, it's easier than ever right now to become a licensed foster parent while it's all online. And Pat, can you talk a little bit just about the flexibility that we're looking for in incoming foster families?
Yeah, I am looking for people that are wanting to make a difference right in our own communities, in the counties that we serve, to want to help a child who is possibly very short-term in foster care or could potentially be a longer-term placement. So I'm looking for people to be open-minded, ready to go with the flow. Right before we started this session, I was talking a little bit with Aquila and you, Liz, and Aquila just is easygoing, knows that, you know, each day may start out a little different. I love when people are used to a little bit of chaos. Some of the basic things we're looking for, of course, is for you to be ready and open to hearing about the referrals of the kids we get. Of course, there's background checks that we have to do, references we do, and you know, we're with you every step of the way to make it a fairly smooth process for you.
And like Pat said, we're joined by our very own Pathway foster parent, Aquila Jordan. So Aquila, we're very glad that you joined us tonight. And she can just give firsthand experience.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, just share a little bit how long you've been a foster parent and what pre-service looked like for you.
So I've been a foster parent for almost 1.5 years now. Pre-service for me was completely online, which was really refreshing. I started going through the process and getting all my paperwork together, and then we had COVID. And they're like, well, all your training is going to be virtual. And I'm like, oh, okay, this will be fun. So it was really nice to be able to do the courses online. It made it a little bit more flexible with my work schedule, which was very helpful. And I can't believe it's already been almost 1.5 years. It has been such a rewarding, fast-paced, emotional roller coaster. And it's just truly taught me so much about my understanding of parenting and foster parenting and the system overall. It's just been really great.
And can you share a little bit about what inspired you to become a foster parent?
Yeah, so I had already been exposed to the foster care system. My younger siblings all started off in foster care and were then adopted. So I've been around foster and adoption for almost 20 years now. And one of the things I loved about that experience is, one, I have begged my parents for years for younger siblings, right? And so they finally give them to me as I'm hitting 17 and get ready to go off to college. And I'm like, wait a minute, I begged for this for years. And so I got to be a foster sibling to younger kiddos while I was in school. And so watching them grow up, and then now they blessed me with 9 amazing nieces and nephews. It is one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had. And so as I was looking to see how I can get more involved with kids who needed help, right? I worked with kids who were at high risk at one point in time through my job. And I knew there was a lack of foster parents. And I was talking with my youngest sibling one day. He's like, well, why aren't you a foster parent? And I couldn't give him an answer. And I mean, this is a 17-year-old kid asking me this question. I'm like, well, need to make some changes. And that was sort of that last push that I needed, having him ask me, why wasn't I helping more kids?
Yeah, that's great. The perspective of a teenager definitely can give quite the punch.
Yeah.
That's great. And so you are a working professional woman, and a lot of the time we get asked, well, I work full time. How do I handle being a foster home? And can you just speak a little bit on that?
At first, it was very terrifying for me at first. It's like, am I really about to like voluntarily be a single mom? Like, let's think about this. I was working probably 50 to 60 hours a week at the time that I first went through the process, because I was a very much so practicing trial attorney. And it really made me pause and say, yeah, I can do this. I love Pathways because they were so supportive. That was one of the first questions I asked. I'm like, I work, how does visitation work? How am I going to get them there? My parents are going to step in and help me out with daycare if the kids are young enough, but one of my parents doesn't drive. So what does that look like for transportation? And Pathways answer all of those questions and put my mind so much at ease. And it really is, the biggest thing for me was scheduling, because I didn't realize how many appointments kids have. And so I went from never using sick time to using sick time for appointments. I have an incredibly supportive employer right now who knows I'm a foster parent. They're exceptional about it. They let me take off the time I need to when I need to go to court or when my kiddos have doctor's appointments. And it's such a blessing to have such a strong support system. It makes it so doable, right? You're just like any other single parent, except for your kids have a lot more appointments than a normal parent would. And I mean, my kiddos are one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I love being a foster parent. I love them being here. Their energy after a long day, just like they're both walking now. So they like waddle to the door when I get home, and it's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, we definitely tell our new incoming families that a support system is just so key to your success, the success of the children that you welcome into your home, and it just creates a really caring community environment. And so it's very, very important. And can you think of any particular memory in the last year and a half that was maybe just unexpected with the children in your home, and just kind of funny, unexpected?
Yeah. So my youngest kiddo has been with me only for a couple months. And she has terrible social anxiety. Like, if she is not comfortable with someone, she cries uncontrollably. And I remember the first week she was here, I had to go out and get groceries. And so she's not exactly my complexion. And so we're out getting groceries, and someone walked up to me, like just out of nowhere. It's like, oh, are you babysitting? And in my mind, I'm like, how do I respond to this question? How do I be polite? She's tired, so I know she's getting ready to have a meltdown. I just kind of laughed it off, but I wasn't necessarily prepared for those interactions. And as the lady kept getting closer to me, I could feel her anxiety kicking in. She's only one, and she just held on to me a little bit closer and just hugged me a little bit tighter. And then she started patting my back, this pat the back thing. And I'm just like, okay, you can't cry in the store. She's having a moment, you're having a moment. But as she was patting my back, I knew she felt safe. And I knew she understood that she was loved. And for a child who clearly has that trauma response to strangers, that just reminded me what I'm doing, and recentered me and refocused me. And we made it through the grocery store. She got home and she was fine because she wasn't around people anymore. But it was that moment of just her patting my back and saying, okay, we're fine. And she didn't realize what she was doing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean,
Absolutely.
for you, that was so rewarding, and just that you could provide that calm for her, and to see that is just amazing. And it's those moments that I'm sure just keep you going, even through, the daily challenges that come up unexpectedly or anything of that sort.
And that's the thing that, when I got into this, I'm like, oh, I'm going to help out these kids who need help. And no, like, these kids are amazing. And yes, of course, they come with their challenges, right? They're in the foster care system. But when they smile, when they laugh, when they're outside playing, like, it's the pure love of God through our children. And it just reminds you of the work that we're doing and why we're doing, why it's a blessing to even be able
Yes.
to do it.
Yeah, that is just great. And I mean, that story alone could inspire several people to be foster parents. But do you have any advice for anyone just thinking about it, or new who might be incoming in the pre-service classes?
So my biggest advice is keep an open mind. Make sure you have a strong support system that supports you being a foster parent. And pray over it. I know that sounds crazy, and to whoever your higher power is, right? Like, just pray over it and know you're going into it for the right reason. Some of my friends have dealt with my youngest kiddo who will cry as soon as they hit the door. And I know that's so hard for them because they don't understand, why is this little 1-year-old crying? I haven't done anything to them. But that's their trauma speaking, right? And so coming in as a foster parent, I knew I was going to have kids of different abilities, right? My one kiddo is a complete extrovert. He loves everyone, her not so much. And so having that support system with me to understand, okay, each kid is a little bit different, but each kid is here for a reason, and we're going to support Aquila nurturing this kid. That is what you need going into this. And so anyone who's thinking about doing this, once you talk to your higher power, once you pray over and you get your answer, do it. And then know who your support system is, have those conversations with them about what foster care really looks like, and let them love and support you through it. I started as a foster parent with a little kiddo that was 2 months old coming straight from the hospital. I'm like, no, I don't need any help. I can do everything on my own. That was a huge mistake and learning curve. I think within the first month, when my mom said, okay, so are you ready for me to watch him while you do laundry? Yes, come on over. Come on over and just play with him while I get some laundry done, because I haven't slept. And learning to accept that help from your circle is really important too. So everyone can do this as long as you have the heart for it.
Yes, for sure. And you've shared so many great insights, and we very much appreciate it. So any final words about just why go with Pathway?
I initially went with Pathway because at the time I got my license, I was working for the county. And so I couldn't be licensed to the county. And I thank God for that blessing. Pathways has been such a huge support system for me in and of itself. My case manager through Pathway is amazing. Pathway provides transportation for my kiddos during visits where I can't drive them because I'm at work. Anytime I have a question, I know I can call John or email him, or he doesn't text, which is fine because he always responds to my email messages. It's like, are you right by your computer, John? How did you respond that quick? Pathways is such a huge support system. And for a new foster parent, even though I was experienced with the system, I didn't know all these details that go into it. So when I have those questions, I can shoot off an email to him and get an answer. I know I have every support system in place. I know I can email him updates and he'll read them, because I'm definitely a type A that's like, let me tell you everything that's going on so we're all on the same page and we're all communicating. That is the type of support that Pathways provide, right? So it's knowing that I have that case manager that's working with me, that knows the kiddos that are in my home, that can answer the questions, that can help facilitate things with the county. It is a phenomenal resource that I had it planned on. So I'm so blessed to have it with Pathways.
We're so blessed to have you.
Yes, 200%.
Yes.
Aquila, you're definitely a true testament to just, you know, digging in and loving kids where they're at and just going with it. And that's what they need.
And they're amazing. You do that. Like my experience with my kiddos has been the most rewarding experience of my life. I would not trade a single second. And look, foster care is rough. It is an emotional roller coaster at times, and you will not know what was going on. But each night that you put those kids to bed and you know they're safe, it's just the best feeling in the world.
Well, once again, Aquila, we are so grateful that you joined us this evening, and we just thank you again for just being a really great foster parent. And we're going to wrap things up this evening, but once again, please reach out to Pat. Her contact information is in the comments section. You can jump in anytime now through September 30th. And thanks for joining us this evening.
Thanks.
Thank you.